Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to InfraSpace. We are on episode number 5. I have a feeling this series is probably only going to last maybe 6 episodes. We're definitely coming down to the end on it. It's more of a first look type series, and if you like it enough, to get you into the game. But as for audience, it's a relatively small one. It's a bit of a niche game, but it is a fun little title. Well, anyway, we are going to try to make the push to get to a large town. You can see we've already done all of the research for a small town. We've done all of those necessary things. However, to get to that next level, we're going to need to do a few things first. For one thing, we have a lot of deficits out here. We have some deficit spending happening, and we want to get out of that scenario. One of the key areas that we are short on right now, though, doesn't necessarily show up here, but that is concrete. Of course, if you saw all the way to the end of the last episode, you know that concrete was becoming a real issue, and it happened very suddenly. I mean, we were doing just fine, and then all of a sudden we weren't. All of a sudden, concrete was just not happening. We went from having an abundance of it, making plenty of it, to just we had nothing to do what we needed to do. Now, the main way that happened was trying to do this highway all the way out here to the aluminum. That expansion, that large area, a big, fast-moving highway, was just asking a little too much of our upkeep on concrete. So we need concrete, we need power, we need some population, and all of that's going to add up. All of that's going to take its toll on our input of, goods. So that means we're going to need to address that, and we're going to start this episode by addressing that, and then trying to push what we need to get to the next level. Now, for the city level, what we need, large town, we need 1,000 citizens at level 4. We do have some. We are making progress towards that. I'm guessing that's what this purple is, right? Yes, residential buildings. So the computers, the parks, the oxygen, all of that needs to come up kind of across the board. And you can see we do have some new settlements that have just gone in that are already at level 2, not yet level 3. We've got 700 there, but we need to get to 1,000. Right now, we have enough jobs to do that, nearly. So we're going to need quite a bit of expansion in quite a few areas. Let's get on with that program and see what we can do. I'm going to start with the concrete, and we are going to do it based on sulfur here. Now, I want to take a look at our network that we have here, and we had 3 concrete. We used 4 sulfur. Are those all large or are those regular? Those are just regular sulfur mines? They are. So I think we can get away with 2 large ones. And then it does take quite a bit of sand, but none of these are large ones. Those are all regular ones. So if they're doubling output, we could probably do 3 sand and 2 sulfur. 3 sand, 2 sulfur should give us about 3 concrete plus input. Alright, so we're going to throw this little highway section in here to make sure we have the ability to get these guys out of here. Let me fix this. There we go. Okay, and now we have a place for our construction material storage. I can fit it in here somewhere. There we go. That looks like a good place right about there. There we go. So they'll hit that highway and go faster. I could actually turn the highway all the way to here. That's okay. That'll be okay from there. Okay, for the moment we have enough power, but barely. We already have more jobs than 1,000, so we're going to need housing to match that. We need green circuits. We need microchips, only slightly more there though. We need oxygen, and we need parks. Let's maybe start with the oxygen next. Alright, so I know parks are still an issue. Do we have any room? Can we squeeze any more parks right in here? We can? Okay, good. What? The game is just suddenly having collision issues all over the place. It's a little bit buggy today. There has been a couple updates. Okay, now we kind of squeezed food in wherever we could get it before. Okay, I can almost get one in there. I can get one in here, but there's still some space that I don't want to waste. I bet you if I can get it to not try to snap, I can get one in here. I can. Housing wise, we do have over 1,000 now, so we are making our way towards that goal. City level, we're at 400. Still got a ways to go yet. I think power is the next one that I want to address yet again. And then we'll start worrying about our electronics, microchips, and computers. So we now have all but one, or technically two, needs met. We have all of our basic production is meeting the demands right now. The power is meeting the demand. The one thing not meeting the demand is our population. We don't have enough to actually employ everybody to properly keep up on things. One of the last things we just did was adding a ton of microchip factories, and even though we do technically produce enough, you can see we're not actually getting stuff into the research area, which isn't that big of a deal as we don't need research at this moment until we upgrade. The second need is this, getting those level 4 citizens. We're nearly 60% of the way there, 58.2% to be exact, but we're close. We're close. We just had another upgrade. You can see those upgrades are definitely growing. The high rises are now showing up throughout town. We've got a few lower level ones that we just kind of got into, and they're playing catch up, but this is happening pretty quickly right now. 62% already just since we've been talking about this. So a lot of them are catching up. They will get there. They will be done. That will happen. We'll hit that 1,000 and we'll push on to the next mark. Now we have enough population to make that happen, so that's a good thing. But again, we're still not meeting the demands for jobs. At each habitat that upgrades, I think is adding like 2 population. Yes, it's going from 12 to 14. So we could take 2 more people. Well, looking around here, we're not going to get to 1,100 that way, though not terribly far from it. But of course, for every 2 more people that show up and arrive and get off these ships and enter one of these habitats, we're that much further into putting strain on the demands. In fact, you could already see oxygen, food, both are already not quite keeping up with what the demand is. So let's go ahead and focus on adding a little more oxygen, a little more food, and just a little bit more housing. One more little area should do it. And on our tracker, we've hit exactly 3/4 of the way to 1,750, now 751 level 4 citizens. Of course, we need 1,000 of those. We have the necessary number of level 3 citizens. We still have a handful of level 1 and level 2 citizens as well, but the habitats are upgrading fairly quickly right now. It's also probably a good time to check in, make sure that we are still meeting the demands. Of course, as that population grows, the demands change. That's one reason why I'm constantly targeting in abundance, trying to get more than what is necessary. We can see we're already starting to hit slightly problematic with the oxygen, the food, both right on the edge, the parks, all fairly close. And then, of course, I increase those, and it increases the demands for jobs. And so then the housing doesn't quite keep up. Hence, it all kind of just trickles down. It all trickles down. It makes things complicated. All right, so a little more food, a little more oxygen. Let's go ahead and take care of that. And we're probably going to need a little more population as well. Just a little, though. Just a little. Not much is necessary. I'm going to go ahead and occupy this space out here that's still free. I'm going to take a second here and just kind of check in on things. You can see now, job-wise, with nearly 1,200 jobs out there. That's quite a bit after 5.5 hours of gameplay. That's also quite a bit of time that we've been playing. And you can see kind of where we've made our pushes for settlements, as that was one push for a settlement, and then we started expanding for the next one, doing the things we needed to do, and then really pushing to get that next advancement. And then we hit that next advancement, we're pushing on and getting the rest of the way of what we needed. Kind of that combination of factors as you go through time. There's that population going along with it. Not quite matching, but keeping up fairly close with jobs. Same with the housing. And you can see when the immigration rate really drops down. It's never been a negative, but it could get pretty small at times. And right now, we just don't have enough housing, so the immigration rate is quite low. And we're now up over 90%. We're going to hit that 1,000 mark here fairly soon. Again, with all the needs kind of being met. Just keep it up as it slowly expands. I've been slowly adding in a little bit more food, water, parks. Those are kind of the big three that we've had to keep adding that little bit more to as the population expands. And then, of course, as the population expands, I'm trying to keep up with the increased jobs, right? More goods, more jobs means more housing, means more goods. It's a bit circular on that, but I am trying to just about keep up to make sure that we do have enough people employed to do the things that we need and want to do, so that we can keep up on the expansion. We're now right on the brink of hitting large town status. We have a single upgrade left to go, one more habitat to hit that next level. It should be happening any moment. But that is going to do it for this episode. Next time we're going to go ahead and do our final episode, but we're going to be looking at large town. We'll have new research, we'll have new things to add in, and then of course, where do we put those things? Of course, in terms of space, there's plenty of room down here, so we have plenty of room to expand. The map itself is much, much larger than the actual area we're playing within. I mean, you can see the boundaries to the map way up here, and we are using, and there it is, city has leveled up. But you can see the map goes quite a bit further, so we are really just barely scratching the surface. There is a ton of empty flat space out there. So, we might be in this little valley in here, but there is significantly more room, and you can see we have plenty of area to expand. So space is just not that big of an issue, and that's why I'm not overly worried about how tight things are. You just need to make sure that you have enough, like concrete and things on the go. But population is now matching, or almost matching anyway, and we do have that 1,000 mark, and it's going to continuing to go. We need to double that to get to level 5. I don't think we're going to get to level 5 in just a single episode, but here is that research to come, and we will get started with that next time. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a good one. Be safe out there. And bye for now.